That's a lot of spawn points. Playing Skelly thinks that this is gonna be a quick defense sector, but little does he know this will be his hardest journey yet. This is Weathered Channels, a defense sector just added in the V8 beta, and as you will see, it really made me doubt my Mindustry skills. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's actually talk about the sector. In the starter area, there's a few coal patches, one titanium patch and no thorium. The nearest thorium patch is all the way here. It's quite far away from the starter area. It's to say that our starter area isn't amazing, so it'd be best to expand. The only problem is that Weathered Channels is a huge map, so expanding is quite cumbersome. Playing Skelly didn't bother with all of that, and decided to hope that the resources he launched with will be enough for the ammo. And that's just the resources part. Later on, the enemies get very strong here. But for now, let's start up our factory with what we have. Our core schematic uses an insane amount of silicon. We'll need good production. And that's our silicon. We're using plastanium for ammo, and the enemies aren't too bad yet. It's better if I start exploring early, since I might not have the time later on. That's a bit of flares for Wave 4. And there's already intruders. That's our thorium patch. And that's basically the whole map explored. We really don't want to hold back on defense. We'll use everything we can. You can already see the Cyclone struggling on Wave 7 out of 40. We want to bring out the big guns early on. The only way we can get power to Thorium Island is a surge tower, which will be very vulnerable. I can't be bothered to add specters, so meltdowns will do for now. Oh, come on. Damn on Wave 9s. Are you starting to feel it yet? All the power nodes I built to our thorium source were destroyed. I've learned my lesson. We finally got down our drills. This source will also supply our specters. Let's protect our power nodes with some walls. Even though they're bad at consistent DPS, meltdowns are great for big low-tier unit crowds. Wait, we're running out of graphite. This is really bad. I really shouldn't have slacked off making graphite. The coal was right there. It's making graphite, but it's not that fast. The core schematic. I don't need these. I should have stopped the graphite output earlier. You can see just how sluggish our graphite production is. I'm getting a little desperate. Lancers are very outclassed at this point. But at least the defense is holding for now. Even still, we really need those resources. We got thorium into our core at last. Let's add some titanium. The graphite incident might happen again. I don't want to rely on one defense for everything. Let's extend a bit. The graphite isn't too bad now with the water extractors, but that was a warning. Can I mention how stupid these megas are? They keep being in the open and getting shot down. Also, these waves are getting strong. Not even specters can easily deal with them. In that wave alone, 2 turrets got destroyed. That number is supposed to be 0. Oh look, Zeniths. They got surprisingly far. And those Atraxes too. This is getting scary. Not a good look, bro. What the? Oh my goodness, they only attacked there now of all times. They eventually went away, but still, what the hell? And yet, they went for it again. The highest tier turrets in the game aren't holding up. At this point, it's becoming evident that this isn't your average defense sector. It's something much more sinister. I mean, look, my turrets are getting decimated, and the graphite is not keeping up anymore. More graphite. And the Atraxes are overwhelming the Spectre. This is absolutely insane. And it just keeps getting worse. Like what happened here? They're actually avoiding the Spectres to cause as much havoc as possible. And we're genuinely running out of surge. We need a ton of it for Spectres. That works for now. But yeah, if you couldn't already tell, my base is going to hell. Just look at the bottom. And unfortunately, there's no saving this one. This is the end of our first run, and it was a brutal wake-up call. It's clear now that just Spectres aren't gonna cut it. We need more. You see, out of all the Mindustry turrets, there's exactly one that I haven't used yet. The Swarmer is a 2x2 Plastanium turret that can deal the most DPS if used correctly. I haven't used it until now since it uses so much ammo. So that's why we're bringing all the ammo from another sector. We're going to be using Blast Compound for ammo, since we don't need it for anything else, and it has good synergy with Cryofluid Spray. Now that we know our options, it's all about the execution. Namely, our early game and our late game. We can only bring so much, and we have to eventually make resources locally. Let's just hope that it will be enough. Let's also improve our core schematic. It's a small but major change, the overdrive dome. This should be able to give a small boost to the overall base. After some reconfiguration, here it is. Hopefully this and the blast compound swarmers will be enough to beat weathered channels. So what are we waiting for? The swarmers are doing much better than the spectres, and they don't even need surge. Of course, I'll still add spectres, since swarmers require quite a lot of plastanium. Let's add another impact reactor, so we don't have to worry a lot about power. And let's add an overdrive projector to boost these turrets even more. I'm gonna start making some blast compound from the core. The Zeniths come to the rescue. They destroy the thorium drills again, but at least the ground defense is holding up. Let's actually defend this thorium patch for once. Honestly, it's pretty chill from here. Yeah, that meltdown ain't doing nothing. I guess you don't get to build right next to their faces. And now we get to build the swarmers. The swarmers make so much of a difference, it's not even funny. They really excel at single target DPS, and that helps when 50% of enemies are T3s. This area seems to be a weak spot for air units. I'll reinforce with cyclones. This swarm is insane, basically the health pool of 1.5 T4s. It's just so satisfying. I've ran out of metaglass, so I'm handcrafting it. Things are slowly falling apart still, but it's still holding up right. And then it all falls apart. Scepters came in and destroyed my outer defenses. Even with our defenses, T4s still tank a lot and can cause a lot of destruction. And before you know it, everything got destroyed. Just how did things get so bad so quickly? One thing fell, then everything else fell. You can see the defenses holding on for dear life, but critical mass has been reached. This isn't just your average defense sector. This is truly insane. After that brutal failure, I decided to take a break from weathered channels and go to Desolate Rift. There's only one choke point, so it's easily defendable unlike weathered channels. And with placing these two cyclones, our defense will hold for quite a bit. Right. So our defense wouldn't hold for even a little bit. Time to bring out the fuses. The Atraxes aren't even reaching the fuses, a great contrast to earlier. This must be the Scepter Wave. What a damage, that's the kind that we need. That felt so good after the Zeniths infiltrated earlier. Enough delaying, it's time for the Guardian Wave. It's the strongest wave yet. With 2 T5 Raines and 6 Scepters, let's hope that the damage is enough. I think that was just one big nightmare. We are gonna add a ton of menders for less damage, but much more tankiness. A lot of damage is still dealt anyways. Let's also add foreshadows to further improve our chances. And now it's time for the real fight. Now that's more like it. It's so good that the last two scepters won't even fight. But we do have a job to do. There we go. And with that, we have beaten Desolate Rift. Let's recap what we've done so far this episode. In our first Weathered Channels attempt, we used Spectres and Plastanium Cyclones, which ended at Wave 28. We then took a detour to make blast compound ammo for swarmers to launch with. Then, on our second attempt, we got all the way to Wave 38 with blast swarmers and surge turrets. And now we beat Desolate Rift with the same turrets, albeit with a choke point. So what's next? I mentioned at the start of the video that there weren't many resources at the starter area, and that we'd have to expand at Weathered Channels. Well, after 2 failed attempts, we're finally gonna expand a bit. I've already rebuilt the base for your viewing pleasure. The reason I didn't simply build more swarmers to not reach critical mass is because of Plastanium. Specifically, we've only had 1 titanium patch until now, and we have almost no space left, so we couldn't produce Plastanium, and we can only make so many swarmers from 6.5k Plastanium. So we're gonna expand to this area in order to have what we need for Plastanium production. Once we have it set up, the number of turrets shouldn't be a bottleneck. We also want to make extra blast compound for ammo. Let's also expand here because why not? By the way, we're using phase walls because we don't need much phase fabric otherwise. And now, time for the Plastanium. We need a lot of oil, so let's start with this. There's not a lot of places for oil extractors, so we need to also convert water to oil. Once we get these extractors protected, it's smooth sailing. From here, it's all about ammo. The waves only get very serious on later waves, so we'll skip to there. They're attacking the backline. The defense is starting to show its flaws. And enemies are getting super strong. Will this defense hold? Let's try holding on for a bit longer. At least the breach defense isn't too important. That wave looks brutal. 4 scepters, oh my goodness. These were what ended our last run. But we're holding on. This might be the run. Oh no, not again. It's getting worse by the second. It's giving me deja vu. There's still some defense, but we might be close to critical mass. And don't forget, we're slowly running out of ammo. Look at that wave, it's big. Come on, just a little bit more. We're gonna make it to the last wave. We're gonna use surge ammo for the last wave. Here goes nothing. Wow. 138,000 HP. Let's try that again with a little more preparation. Now let's try that again, shall we? The outer defenses already took down 2 guardians, so that's good. We're gonna be using surge ammo for the swarmers, since we don't have any more blast. Surely this will be it. We're not doing enough damage though. And that's it, there's no way we'll be able to kill all the other T4s. I've had enough. We're gonna be also bringing Peritite as ammo for the early waves, then switch to Blast Compound later on. I've also decided not to use Foreshadows until now, but that changes now. Let's end this once and for all. After 8 hours, I'm free.